Don't be fooled into thinking Mario Kart Deluxe is a carbon copy of its Wii U counterpart. There are still plenty of new changes in addition to designate itself as its own installment of Mario Kart. For one, the Ultra Mini Turbo now brings new and interesting approaches to some of the game's sharpest corners. Also, the game's vehicle stats have been rebalanced, and no longer are the dominant days of slick tires as now roller compound tires patrol the circuit. Because of this reconfiguration, kart combo pieces that enhance handling and mini turbos are more important than ever. The Wild Wiggler, paired with roller tires, is the prime example of a solid kart combo under the new rebalances, as not only does it contain the new essential stats, it still complements the ever so important speed stat. The Streetle is a strong alternative to the Wild Wiggler, with similar stats that only has more handling than speed, compared to the Wild Wiggler. So far, my personal favorite combo to run with is a stat-balanced pipe frame with roller tires, and although the pipe frame won't do much in terms of helping out the speed stat, it makes up for it in extra handling and mini turbo. The kart combos of Mario Kart Deluxe that can best excel and hold in the bottom groove, with decent mini turbos before corner exit, will help steer the player into the direction for victory. Hello everybody, Nintendo 14 here. Welcome back to the year of Mario Kart. Last part, we did some balloon... No, voice crack. We did some balloon battle in the battle mode for Mario Kart Deluxe. This part we're going to be doing more battle mode, but we're going to be playing some of the other game modes that the game has to offer. This part, we're going to be playing as Larry, and for this battle mode we're going to be playing one match of Shine Thief, and then another with Bob-Omb Blast. So that's the plan here, and what I'm going to be discussing for this part, this video, is the dreaded list of the 5 things I don't like about Mario Kart game. For this installment, it's for Mario Kart Deluxe. Yeah, the very most recent game. Even that game I have issues with. I mean, it's human for everybody on their part, you know, for loopholes and just those cheese holes that just signify the things that slip through the developer's cracks, and whether if it was intentional or not on that part, and you know if that was meant to be designed that way, or just our interpretations. Anyways, I'm just rambling on like I usually do. So here goes my 5 list of Mario Kart Deluxe. Oh boy. It's a pretty bitter list, I think, out of any of the other lists that I've made for things I don't like about a Mario Kart game. Alright, the number 5 thing I don't like about Mario Kart Deluxe, it's the minimal new features. There are new features in this game, but there's not that much. There's no, as of recording this video, there's no new tracks. Well, actually what we can safely say is there's no new tracks that came out with this game. We still have all the tracks that were on offer of us after the original Mario Kart 8 and all of its DLC. So yeah, you do have access to all 48 tracks, but those are the same 48 tracks that you were able to play in Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U if you downloaded all the DLC. So right off the bat, if you played the original Mario Kart 8, aside from the battle mode and a couple characters, you're not really missing out on much if you go ahead and buy the port for this game. Unfortunately, this game is treated just as much as just a port, and for those who this would benefit more to players who didn't get to play the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8. So in real honesty, this game was just acted as a way for players that didn't get to play the Wii U as an option to just play it. So anyways, it's just a game of catch up. So unfortunately, this we also didn't get anything else in terms of improvements, such as there's key features that in friend rooms, like fundamental things that should be in a friend room. Those are still not in this game, despite you know, it's the same game, so there's plenty of time and opportunities for the game to, you know, add in some features. And the friend room is still missing out on a lot of important features, such as maybe making a private friend room, maybe restricting what kind of players you want in there in your friend room, and then I guess a lot of other features that I can't name off the top of my head. Maybe maybe being able to spectate, you know, like Splatoon, that would be pretty sweet. Sadly, that's not the case once again here. I mean, yeah, there is a spectator mode, but that's only if, like, say you're trying to join in on the game, and it does some. The spectator mode that is actually in the game, it's quite poor in that you're only able to just view another driver from a gameplay perspective, and then it also uses the camera angles from MKTV. I mean, it's not like you can spectate at will with the kind of tools that you have in Splatoon 2 in that game spectator mode. Now, there's no tools such as that. Just it just shows you, you know, the lap counter and who's in first or second. So anyways, that's just number 5 on the things I don't like about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So we're gonna move on to number 4 here. That's gonna be the removal of a couple advanced techniques. Now, I'm not gonna be saying that, you know, I'm pretty bitter about the fact that there's no more fire hopping, but you know, the removal of soft drifting, that's the one part of the advanced techniques that, you know, I was really sad to see not as good as it was back in the original. I mean it's, I can't really tell if soft drifting is still in Deluxe, but you can't really even notice. And if you want to get, and I find myself now in Deluxe, if I want to try and get to the higher level mini turbos, I have to more aggressively jerk the wheel down to the bottom, and because of that, you know, sometimes I find myself you know, steering too much, and that can mess me up. So, you know, there's still a lot of learning curve into, you know, trying to play this game without the abilities of soft drifting from the original Mario Kart 8. And also, the tricks to increase momentum off the normal ramps with well-placed mini turbos, that's gone, because I think the way that I, you know, in the original Mario Kart 8, you would see me in some online races, you'd see me hop right after a mini turbo just to get some forward momentum with the drift into a ramp. So I think in some ways in the original MK, I would use a sliver bit of the fire hopping to my advantage in that way. There was a small window where, you know, I could use fire hopping to my advantage. So, you know, that's thrown out the window, you know, along with the whole fire hopping mechanic. So now with how you know, you can approach ramps, instead of you getting any momentum from the mini turbos into the ramp, now it's if you want to get momentum, it's all from the ramp itself. I think correct me if I'm wrong about this, but the ramps or your ability to trick is it was buffed compared to the original Mario Kart 8. So you can, so I think it's a wiser way to go to try and get a little bit more stunts in an angle where you don't lose too much momentum. But if you can get more stunts, then maybe you can get an edge that you didn't usually had in the original Mario Kart 8 here in Deluxe. And then another thing about the soft drifting is that now that there's no soft drifting, it makes turns more difficult to stretch into super mini turbos per se. So let's take, for example, the first turn in DS Tick-Tock Clock from the Lightning Cup. There's the first turn towards the left, you know, like a vanilla Tick-Tock Clock, but the first turn to the left, I can, if you were to see me in any races in Tick-Tock Clock for that first turn, you would see me get a super mini turbo. Now in I'm pretty sure if you see me in the next race of Tick-Tock Clock for this game, you'd probably not see me get a super mini turbo. That's the real effects of using super mini turbo, is that you don't even have to use the entire control stick in order to get your drift. So yeah, in that way, you have to adjust accordingly to some of these turns. So I might have to take turns a lot slower, and that I'm not able to get super mini turbos in certain turns. Like I find that there's a lot of corners now in Deluxe where I can only get as good as a blue drift. And in some cases, you know, I'm struggling to barely even get just a single drift. So aside from, you know, removing the fire hop, and that's again, that's a great thing that can level out the playing field. But I think Nintendo went a little overboard by not including the soft drifting for this game. I mean, I think it's the soft drifting is a fairly easy thing to get down, a lot easier to get down if you think about it compared to fire hopping. So I'm pretty disappointed about no soft drifting for the most part in Deluxe. Okay, so cracking down to the top 3 of this list of things I don't like about Mario Kart Deluxe, going into number 3, and it's a split player base. I mean, yeah, with every new Mario Kart, we're all guaranteed to have to move on, leave the previous installment behind, and then play online with this new game. But the thing that rubs me the wrong way about splitting the player base this way is that this game is awfully similar to the Wii U version in that there's not much stopping it from being able to connect to its Wii U brother. So I'm really disappointed that this game doesn't show any cross-platform play with Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. That would have been a golden opportunity for that. So that way it can somewhat justify on either end picking up the game, because if without this cross-platform play, you're seeing it as in, wait, where am I going with this? But anyways, without the cross-platform play, you're seeing it as in from the Wii U standpoint. And if you have all the DLC, so like say you have you're a diehard Mario Kart fan, you got all the DLC for Mario Kart Deluxe, or for the original Mario Kart 8, and then you see the game come out for Mario Kart Deluxe, and like, okay, there's a new battle mode and a couple new characters, but aside from that, what's the reason for me getting the game? So I guarantee you there's a bunch of players that play the original Mario Kart 8 that probably didn't see much of an investment to pick up this version of Mario Kart 8. So there could be a good chunk of players that skipped out on Deluxe because they probably didn't see it as much of a worthy buy for them. Trust me, I was in the same boat. But because of the year of Mario Kart and the fact that I got friends that they want to play on this new version of Mario Kart 8, I ended up having the game in my collection. And maybe I was a little interested in the Ultra Mini Turbo and some of the new characters, and maybe the new mechanics and the way the cart's now handled now. I thought all that was fun. So if you're looking on a budget standpoint, I would if you already have the DLC, then for the original Mario Kart 8, then try to stick with the original Mario Kart 8. But if you somehow happen to you don't have any of the Mario Kart or any form of Mario Kart 8, then go with Deluxe, because there's no point in buying the original Mario Kart 8 and then buying the DLC. You're gonna be saving yourselves about $20 if you just buy the Switch version Deluxe. Okay, so where was I getting with this split player place thing? I mean, aside from the fact that there's no cross-platform play to unify the player bases from two awfully similar games. I mean, Rocket League for the Switch, they have cross-platform play with Xbox, but I guess that's a different story. But yeah, for the most part, it would have been really nice to see some cross-platform play. Would have really opened up the door for other games from Nintendo that could have the same thing. Okay, so moving on to number 2. Oh boy, these next two are just some things that really just make me infuriated about this game. So number 2 for the things I don't like about Mario Kart Deluxe is gonna be no gamepad screen. Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U had this awesome thing on the gamepad screen where you had access to who's in the top 3, who's where, or all participating racers. You get to see where their rankings at, and you also had an option, or not option, but you had the ability to see what item they're holding. So think of it as it's exactly as the way you had it in Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart 7. Now, not having this gamepad screen, we're now going back to what Mario Kart was like in Mario Kart Wii. and a couple other days like that, like a Double Dash and all that. And so that we're kind of in the blind here, and we don't know. You're never certain on what's coming or what's coming behind you or what's happening behind you. And the blue shell is you don't know exactly when the blue shell's coming or lightning perhaps. I mean, you get to see the blue shell going through on the map in the right hand corner of the screen, but you don't get to see the process of seeing the blue shell happening right as it happens. It's less accurate in that regards, and it does make item management and item strategy a lot more difficult without the gamepad screen. And that's you can't safely do certain things, like say if you have like say you and a buddy are racing online worldwide, and you know that your friend is right behind you and he will have your back, and so now in that situation you're safe to go ahead and start constantly changing your items. See if you can, if you're in first place, you can get like a mushroom, maybe not mushroom, but on best occasion you can try and get that super horn. So not being able to know you know where your friends are in worldwide, or certain people where they're at in online racing is a real hindrance on pretty much the experience and overall fun factor in the Mario Kart. And I'm really disappointed that, you know, not having this gamepad screen, it almost feels like this game took a step backwards compared to the Mario Kart 8 that we had on the Wii U. Okay, so, and also this Nintendo Switch Online Play app, that could have easily been incorporated to have a gamepad screen. I was hoping, I was crossing my fingers that, you know, it would have that, but instead we didn't get that, and we just have it's only used for that Splatoon voice chat thing that I don't think anybody's using. Alright, so quite well heated even after the second entry in my 5 lists I don't like about Mario Kart Deluxe. But now we're getting into number one thing, the real meat of just the things that I do not like about this game. And it's going to be centered around the online play, and that there's a lot of lag in the online connection. And I'm going to be comparing stuff from the original Mario Kart 8, and that's the original Mario Kart 8. That didn't have the issue that this game's online had, in that there are the hit detections on items, and you hitting items from other perspectives. Everything just does not feel the same way it does in Mario Kart 8, and that's you know, the Mario Kart 8 Wii U had much better online than what this had. So what was the issue here? There's so many just places where, you know, it felt like I should have gotten hit by that guy but didn't, and then on the opposite side where I was about 5 feet away from a guy, and then somehow I run into the back of his shell. Probably not from my perspective, but on his perspective, it did. So it has to carry on into my perspective, where it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So if you were to sum it up, this game now has a lag bubble, you know, and that's you don't have to be right next to him where it should register. You just have to be in the proximity, and then that could register as a direct hit when it rightfully shouldn't. And so because of this now, you know, you have, like, say if I'm racing with close friends of mine on Skype, I have to be extra careful in trying not to hit them, and that's I probably have to be further away or maybe on the other side of a lane, and so that's not fun. I wish once the service for the Nintendo Switch online, once we get to pay for that, then hopefully they can fix the online for Nintendo's games that support online. So yeah, this online lag, there's nothing quite like how truly ill-fated the online is for Mario Kart Deluxe. I mean, the previous predecessors had online connectivity much better, as in maybe it was a little troublesome to connect with any of the the opponents on their end, but for items that hit you, they're clear cut, as in whatever item that hits you on your own screen, as if it were offline, that would register. But that's no longer the case, and that's there's these somewhere just out of nowhere shells or bananas that hit you when in a realistic angle that would never happen. All right, so that's my long list. I'm glad this is the last time I ever have to make a dislike list, unless if I get around to the MK7 videos. I still don't know exactly the determination on what we're gonna do for Mario Kart 7 next month. But that's it. Tune in next time for part 3, as we're gonna do some more battle mode with the different game modes for Mario Kart Deluxe, and we're also gonna go over to the like section. 5 things I like about Mario Kart Deluxe, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So that ought to be much better than the list I put out today. And right before this video ends, I just want to apologize for the late upload, especially when this video didn't really need to be pushed back for 2 days, because the intro segment didn't look like it deserved to have 2 extra days to be completed. I could have easily had this video go up 2 days ago, but you know what? That's what ended up having to happen, and I think I'm still gonna have the remainder of the Mario Kart Deluxe videos be uploaded on Thursday, just because maybe I might need the extra time, and just the way that I structured out my schedule now, or how it's flexed back. So with that being said, see you guys later.